Welcome to the Great People Show, your guide to greatness, your GPS to excellence. Here's your host, J.J. White.
Good morning, great morning. Welcome to the Great People Show. I'm your host, J.J. White, and in the studio with us is our effervescent co-host, Mr. James Muncie.
Good morning.
Good morning, James. What's happening, brother?
I'm feeling happy.
I'm feeling fulfilled.
Are we good then?
No, we're not,
All right.
because we need to talk about this. Thanks for joining our show this morning. We are your guide to greatness. The purpose of our show is if you're on a path to create the best version of you, and I really hope you are, if you're not on a path to create the best version of you, I'm wondering what path you're on. But if you're on that path, you're going to spend the best 54 minutes of your life because we're going to help you get there.
We are.
And every week we take on a different topic that is sometimes controversial, but my goal when we started this show was it would always be something that somebody is dealing with practically every day of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Not this in your head, academic, how do I be a better leader? How do I be a better parent? Those are important conversations to have. But what we don't talk about are these little but big things that we're just faced with all day long.
Day-to-day stuff.
Day-to-day stuff. And when we were thinking about this particular topic, which is what makes you happy, what fulfills you, more importantly, what is the difference between those two? It confirmed a lot of the things that I've been thinking for a long time, and I've been reading about this off and on for quite a long time, that our society is just so darn stuck in happiness.
We are. You know, it occurred to me, and I pulled it up here just before the show started, our society is so stuck on it that our founding fathers thought enough of it that they named 3 inalienable rights in the Declaration of Independence.
All right.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of
Happiness.
There you go.
Well, they did say the pursuit of happiness. Now, let's face it, James. Back in 1776, happiness was a whole different ball of wax. I mean, think about what life was really like.
Not getting the plague.
There was no.
I've had a good day.
Not dying at the age of like 35 was the pursuit of happiness,
That's right?
So the context has changed. In boy, I don't want to jump into politics too quick, but look what our society has done with our minds over politics to convince us that we should think a certain thing and feel a certain thing and be a certain person, not even based on what we want, but based on what society says we should have. And happiness is one of those, that you should be happy.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
Good question. We want to thank one of our sponsors, because our sponsor's sole purpose in life is to create happiness inside of families. agingerkid.com, giving a shout out to them. Their product, it's tools and toys that teach. They're heirloom wooden toys that actually help you teach your children while playing with your children in creating some more bond between you and your kids. And I have to make a confession. Ever since we brought them on as a sponsor and I've brought their toys into my household, I have thought differently about how I interact with my children, that my time with them is really all I have. It's not working hard to bring home money to make sure they have nice things and they're comfortable and they get to do things, whatnot. It is just straight up my time with them. And on this whole subject of happiness and fulfillment, that is what fulfills me, is spending quality time with my children. What fulfills you? Not what makes you happy. What fulfills you?
What fulfills me? I think it's a great question. My family certainly fulfills me. I mean, I think that's what anybody with a family hopefully would say.
Yeah.
I think that I've got a career that I find very fulfilling. It fulfills me anytime that I get to help people.
Okay.
And so I work for the fire department, spend a lot of my time there. And that is, other than raising a family, second only to that is the most fulfilling thing that I've ever done.
Okay. So what fulfills me is similar to you, what I'm doing to help someone else. And we're going to break into this topic big time on today's show. And where I'm going with it is that we shouldn't really be doing things to make us happy. We really shouldn't. We should not be pursuing. I'm going against the Declaration of Independence all of a sudden now, James. You've just really upped the ante on me here this morning.
Started right away.
That we should be pursuing things that truly fulfill us. And here's the challenge that I believe most people have is they really don't know what fulfills them.
Mhm.
They really don't know. So I came up with this test.
Okay.
I have this test. It's a test for you, for Asher, because we're bringing Asher on the show. I've threatened for 2 shows in a row to bring Asher on.
He doesn't even believe you at this
First time I
point.
forgot. The second time is Mike wasn't on. It's going to happen today.
All right.
And of course, this test is for all of our listeners on the show right now, whether you're on 97.7 FM or 820 The Answer here in Richmond or on Facebook Live. Here's the test. If I gave you $1,000 and told you for a full day, do what makes you happy, what would you do? You don't have to use the money, but there's some money there in case you wanted to use it.
I'd probably use the money.
Okay, so what would you do to make you happy?
To make me happy, I fly planes. And it's expensive to fly planes. I would get rent an airplane, and I would go fly somewhere.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now, that's what I would do.
Okay, so you just, for a full day, just go fly.
If it's just for me to be selfish with,
how far could $1,000 take you in an airplane?
That'll take you far, man. That'll give you a good 10 hours.
So where would you
in
go?
the air.
Where would you go? Well, five there, 5 and back.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess if it's a full day, you don't have to come back.
I would I would probably shoot out and go follow the coast and try to get down to Hilton Head, South Carolina. Do that in well under 5 hours. Probably.
Okay. All right.
Hours.
Asher, if I gave you $1,000 and told you for a full day, do what makes you happy, what would you do?
That's a good question.
Of course, we only ask good questions on this show.
I would probably detach $1,000. I would probably have to pay somebody to do my job for that 24 hours. So that would take about half of it.
Okay.
And then I would
I like it.
And then I would, I don't know, take some gas. I would go somewhere and detach. It's difficult to detach.
Where would you go?
Where would I go?
Yeah.
Preferably a beach, but I would have to drive really far to get to a beach that I like.
Okay.
So I don't know. Can I make it to Florida? Maybe the Gulf. I guess the Gulf's not in quite as good a shape as it.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe next week.
Maybe
I don't
next
know.
week.
So you're similar to James then. You would just kind of take off for the hills. James would do it in an airplane. What?
I would. I think because I had to use half the money to pay somebody to do
So
my job for the day.
so far we're all running away.
Yeah.
Now,
and I would too.
What about
I
you?
would too.
What are you going to do?
So I would take the kids somewhere. I wouldn't go very far because I don't want to spend all this money on travel. I wouldn't go very far, but I would just go and just splurge on their happiness. Like go to a candy store and say, get whatever you want. Just that
for their happiness.
For their, well, it would make me happy too.
Okay.
Like it would be just as gratifying for me to watch them be happy.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the third, and if you're on Facebook, we'd love to hear your answer to this. If I gave you $1,000 and told you for a full day, do what makes you happy, what would you do? Here's the second question. If I gave you $1,000 and told you for a full day, do what fulfills you, what would you do?
$1,000 to do what fulfills me.
Yes.
So, we didn't talk about this in advance. So
and we have a commercial break coming up, so we may have to wait till after the break for this. But
I think we may need the break too. Do you know what you would do it with, JJ?
I have always
you've been thinking about this.
Yeah. So I have always had something in my heart for homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember growing up in Roanoke, there was a facility called the Ram House, which was a day shelter for homeless. You couldn't sleep there overnight. And I wouldn't just simply give the $1,000 to the Ram House. I would find a creative way to absolutely maximize that $1,000 so that we could figure out a way for some of those homeless people to not be homeless anymore. I haven't sketched the whole thing out in my head, but I believe that we too quickly just give money away and let someone else take care of it without us being actively involved in it. And that's where the fulfillment comes. So we are going to take a quick break for a gratuitous sponsor's message. When we come back, we're talking about what is the difference between being happy and being fulfilled. To be part of this conversation, you can call us at 804-454-1366, 804-454-1366. You're listening to The Great People Show.
Oh, I want something just like
Hi, I'm JJ White, host of The Great People Show. As a parent, I'm now busier than ever and don't have a lot of time for teaching my child fundamentals or helping them build good foundations. That's why I love products by A Ginger Kid. They allow me to spend time teaching critical skills to my children while we all have fun. The quality wood used in a Ginger Kid products can't be beat, and the wooden texture brings a nostalgia that allows both my child and I to enjoy our moments together. A Ginger Kid products are about equipping parents to help their children learn with confidence. A Ginger Kid also helps me pause to take moments to create intentional memories with my children. These classic toys teach classic moments. Go to agingerkid.com and enter the promo code GIFTS to receive 25% off your order as one of our listeners. A Ginger Kid, the tools and toys that teach.
Jacqueline and Nick thought they knew everything there was to know about each other. But after staying at the Omni homestead, where they discovered Nick was a natural in a kayak and Jacqueline had a zest for ziplining, they realized every journey is a chance to discover something new. How might staying at Omni affect you? From unlimited golf to intimate dining and romantic spa retreats, visit theomnihomestead.com to find the perfect package for your next getaway. The Omni Homestead Resort. Never stay the same.
Before the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People was the Dale Carnegie course. Now, after 104 years, over 8 million people experience Dale Carnegie courses. People like Warren Buffett and Ronald Reagan. The Dale Carnegie experience uses proven techniques to permanently unlock the potential of top talent, making individuals into inspiring leaders and groups into high-performing teams, while reducing the financial and emotional costs of employee turnover. For more information, visit DaleCarnegieRichmond.com. That's DaleCarnegieRichmond.com.
Oh, I want something just like this.
Welcome back. Gosh, I love our music. I could just, if it wasn't for the fact that people tune into the radio to hear us talk, I could just let the music run.
Makes me happy.
We've been having a fan contest without even running a contest. We're having fans that are randomly listening to the music for our show in their car, recording themselves on video and sending it to us. So do that, and we will as long as we can make it family friendly.
That's right.
And I'm talking to you, Jason Webb, because he's been giving us videos. We will put you on social media. We will promote you.
Yeah.
By listening. Of course, it's a Coldplay song, and there's multiple versions of it out there. You can send it to jj@greatpeopleshow.com. Actually, you can send anything you want ever to jj@greatpeopleshow.com.
You love getting
and
mail.
we need to get you an email address, because I'm sure you don't have enough email addresses.
I've been looking for
like
one.
8.
So no, that's...
And you could send it to us, ideas for the show, great videos. We love things that we can repost on social media. Or if you just want to come on the show and talk about something that's part of being great.
Or just say hi.
And just say hi. In fact, we have someone that just called in to say hi. One of our loyal listeners, Will Wright. Welcome back to the show, Will.
Hey, JJ. Good morning.
Good morning, man.
How
How are you? I'm great. How are you feeling?
Outstanding.
Good, because I've been noticing some things on Facebook that you took a spill at one of your little Spartan, not little. Stay great.
I did, and I am. I think I'm like Wolverine at this point in my life.
You're just getting filled with medals.
I was going to say I'm superhuman. Apparently, I'm up and back at it, man.
Good.
Crutches are gone, cast is gone, and feeling great.
What are your thoughts on this topic we're throwing out there today?
Yeah, so I'm just fascinated by the conversation so far, and I'm still waiting on James's response.
Oh yeah, we all are.
Putting him on the spot right now, but
anyway,
I
love
just thought I'd call and chime in. I just was interested in seeing the way the conversation was going. Kind of that. I feel like both you guys really, in terms of like the difference between things that make you happy and things that fulfill you. And by the way, it's really weird watching you guys. I'm going to shut off Facebook Live right now.
So, Will, whenever we're talking about this whole happiness versus fulfillment thing, what makes you happy? What fulfills you, and what's the difference?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think happiness is a feeling. Like that comes and goes.
It's an emotion, right?
And yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, everyone, we all have different things. Like for me personally, it's pretty easy. I can say like, listening to music makes me happy. Going hiking, traveling, working out. These are all things that are, just kind of fun in the moment, things that, make me feel good. When I think about, satisfaction, that's really more something that's connected to like my greater purpose and like a deeper sense of, just who I am when I'm really like living and being true to my core. And
what is that? What is your deep purpose? What is your core?
you know, for me, that's just to grow and become, you know, more like Christ and follow in his footsteps.
Okay.
So anything that I'm, you know, and the way I've been raised and, you know, just who I am as a person, I mean, I get the most satisfaction just, you know, what you guys both said really resonated with me. And that you both said, I like helping people. And I feel that's, you know, that's certainly a very Christ-like quality to have. And it's also the way that, you know, I was raised. My father modeled that behavior for me. And for me, it's more, you know, when I'm serving, when I'm giving, and every organization I've been a part of, from, you know, scouting, thinking back over the years, or the Arrow, like the whole slug, everything that I may serve is, you know, it's a whole brotherhood of cheerful service. And then going to Virginia Tech for college.
So I can safely say, Will,
the motto is that I may serve. So that's it.
So I can safely, it sounds like I can safely say that when you are fulfilling your purpose, you are fulfilled. And of course that makes you happy. I'm curious though, are there things that you find yourself doing to fulfill your purpose that don't make you happy? But you know it's part of fulfilling your purpose?
I can tell you that certainly exists for me.
That's a great question. I was calling in to chime in on the fun.
Will, you know how it rolls on this show, man. We're your God, man. We're challenging you to go big.
To go. Love it, man. I love it.
So, James, what's your thoughts?
Well, so I mean, for me, and again, I know I always come back to the fire department, but again, that's what fulfills me. So, a lot of what we do ends up being very bad situations. Sometimes somebody dies. Sometimes somebody's house is burned down and they've lost all their possessions. We're not happy. I'm anything but happy in those situations. It is still the most fulfilling thing in the world to me. Maybe we helped comfort somebody in their last moments. Maybe we were able out of that burning home to save somebody's photo albums or family heirlooms. But that's not at all a happy situation.
Yeah.
So I think that would
Good answer. Will, what do you think?
Yeah, that lit me up as well, thinking in that vein.
Boy, you'll be thinking about that all day.
Yeah. No, I'm still.
Well, but is it? I guess your opinion on isn't that? But isn't it okay? Right? Isn't it okay that we're doing things to fulfill our purpose, but they don't necessarily have to make us happy? And that's the point of this show, I think today, Will, is we get so caught up in needing to be happy.
Yeah. Now, my short answer is, you know, and my gut reaction was yes. I mean, there's some things that I've been through that have been, you know, I know in the long run they're good for me, but, you know, there's some things that have been very painful, and some things require some discipline. And that is, again, going back to, you know, what I said before, there's a refining process. We all go through different seasons and different times of different things in life. And, you know, as you're going through it, it's, you know, it's not, you know, I mean, I'll use, you know me very well at this point. I'll use, you know, that's the season of life where my mom was fighting ALS. That was certainly not fun, and it was painful to watch and go through. And, you know, but the moments where I was most satisfied and all that, and most at peace, was when, you know, there were sometimes it was really not, it was really hard. It was very hard to care. There were certain things, you know, cleaning up after a loved one that, you know, is going through something like that. It's a very difficult thing. And I wouldn't say that, you know, I'm over there scrubbing toilets or changing colostomy bags and doing things and, you know, hey, this is making me super happy. But, you know, being there and being able to care for a loved one and being able just to, you know, there were times, though, I mean, it was, you know, and I wouldn't really think about that.
Right.
It wasn't the task itself. It was the like I've already said, just the greater purpose, and knowing that in the long run, like
absolutely,
it was just a task that is, and that whatever it was going to pass.
Amen. Well, Will, thank you so much for being on the show, man. What a great contribution. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you, JJ.
Have a good day,
time, guys. Yep, y'all take care. Right.
You know, what a lot of what Will was talking about here, which if we break down this whole happiness thing, is that it's an emotion, it's fleeting. There's this long-term, short-term aspect of happiness and fulfillment. I think we can all agree that happiness is usually very, very short-term. I've had this conversation multiple times with our clients about giving money to people. We know money is a motivator until when?
Yeah,
do you know when? There's a specific time it becomes a motivator until.
What I read years ago was 3 weeks. Is that still accurate? That somebody, so giving an employee a raise will raise their level of motivation for about 3 weeks.
It's actually, it could be less than that, depends. But the ultimate test is it's only a motivator until they spend it. It's only a motivator until it's gone. So if in most cases, if you give them extra money or a bonus, they're going to go out and spend that probably, if you look at statistics. So all of a sudden, so it made them happy, but that happiness quickly leaves and you've lost the value in what you've given that person. It's just like when we go and buy something, it's buyer's remorse. Buyer's remorse happens 100% of the time with when we buy something. It's emotional, it's chemical. It always happens, no matter what. When you buy a car, when you buy a house, it gets amplified. And that's when we really need to wonder where this feeling is coming from, because we get so excited about bringing this happiness of having this thing. And then we get it. We're like, what did I do? You just start to second guess it. So happiness is so fleeting.
It is.
It's short term.
Unlike, say, doing this show, which we are clearly not doing for the money. This is a startup radio program.
Yep.
This is very fulfilling for me.
Same here. The two chemicals that are tied to happiness are dopamine and serotonin. Right? When we get dopamine and serotonin, that makes us happy, and those are because of usually things that we've done or experienced, and that's very short term. So when those chemicals start to get out of our bloodstream a little bit, then all of a sudden we don't feel as happy. Fulfillment's not tied to chemicals in our body. The long term aspect of what we do is tied to this fulfillment.
And I really like your question about, can you be fulfilled in something that doesn't make you happy? I'll say I had never thought about it like that before. That's a really big point in this whole thing, I think.
Yeah. Do we have to pursue something in order for it to bring us fulfillment and happiness? Like, what if it comes easy? What if something just shows up?
Then you lucked out.
Yeah. It is our pursuit of something tied to more fulfillment or more happiness. For instance, the radio show. Let's just talk about the radio show.
Right.
What if this radio show came easy? What if millions of people just all of a sudden showed up and started listening?
I would still feel pretty fulfilled.
I would too. What if it took us a year to get to, 500 people listening or whatever that number is?
I'd probably feel a little more fulfilled.
I would.
Yeah.
It's like the hard road to something brings more fulfillment. It's when you show up, you're like, it was so worth it, because most people quit when the road gets hard.
Yeah. I mean, if you won $1 million in the lottery versus if you worked your tail off for a career and earned $1 million, which of those is more fulfilling? And which one of those would make you happy?
What happens with people when they win $1 million in the lottery? They blow it. Statistically, most of them, a majority of them, end up going bankrupt because it didn't make them happy. They didn't know what to do with it. They didn't have to work hard over a long period of time to get that money.
It's true.
That's a living, breathing example of happiness ain't what it's all cracked up to be.
No,
I mean,
not
seriously.
at all. And we keep on coming back to money, JJ. I feel like so many of these examples we've given come back to money, and that goes back to the cliche expression, money doesn't buy happiness.
Well, happiness gets slippery when it slides into its distorted version of taking shortcuts or indulging in what feels good now, the easier, faster, more comfortable, over what nourishes us over the long haul. And that's the difference. And I'm going to keep coming back to this. I don't think most people really know what fulfills them. They're confusing fulfillment with happiness, and they think what they're doing as they get these little hits of serotonin along the way and feel happy are fulfilling, but it's not.
Yeah, and maybe
they end up empty.
That's true. So maybe after the break, we need to get into a little more why it's important to understand the difference.
So to be a part of this conversation, call us in the studio, 804-454-1366, 804-454-1366. What makes you happy? What fulfills you? But most importantly, what's the difference? You're listening to The Great People Show.
For the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People was the Dale Carnegie course. Now, after 104 years, over 8 million people experience Dale Carnegie courses. People like Warren Buffett and Ronald Reagan. The Dale Carnegie experience uses proven techniques to permanently unlock the potential of top talent, making individuals into inspiring leaders and groups into high-performing teams, while reducing the financial and emotional costs of employee turnover. For more information, visit DaleCarnegieRichmond.com. That's DaleCarnegieRichmond.com.
Jacqueline and Nick thought they knew everything there was to know about each other. But after staying at the Omni homestead, where they discovered Nick was a natural in a kayak and Jacqueline had a zest for ziplining, they realized every journey is a chance to discover something new. How might staying at Omni affect you? From unlimited golf to intimate dining and romantic spa retreats, visit theomnihomestead.com to find the perfect package for your next getaway. The Omni Homestead Resort. Never stay the same.
Hi, I'm JJ White, host of The Great People Show. As a parent, I'm now busier than ever and don't have a lot of time for teaching my child fundamentals or helping them build good foundations. That's why I love products by A Ginger Kid. They allow me to spend time teaching critical skills to my children while we all have fun. The quality wood used in A Ginger Kid products can't be beat, and the wooden texture brings a nostalgia that allows both my child and I to enjoy our moments together. A Ginger Kid products are about equipping parents to help their children learn with confidence. A Ginger Kid also helps me pause to take moments to create intentional memories with my children. These classic toys teach classic moments. Go to agingerkid.com and enter the promo code GIFTS to receive 25% off your order as one of our listeners. A Ginger Kid, the tools and toys that teach. I want something just like this. We're talking about happiness, fulfillment. What is it? What's the difference? I think we're too caught up in happiness.
We are.
And I don't think we're caught up enough in fulfillment. We have another caller on the line. Sarah has joined the show. Welcome to the show, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey, thank you.
Good morning. Wow, you got some energy here this morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring
You have to get
it.
up early for this.
Oh, no. You're not on the West Coast, are you?
No, I'm not.
So, Sarah, today we're talking about what makes you happy, what fulfills you, what's the difference? What's your viewpoint on this whole thing?
Several years ago, I was career driven.
Mm-hmm.
I knew my path and I knew how to get there. And I was bound and determined to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
One day I was asked to volunteer for the kids service at a church.
Okay.
I really thought they were absolutely crazy. That's the last place you wanted to put me.
Now, and I just want to highlight here, they asked you to volunteer.
They did.
Okay.
And because I had a cat. I didn't have kids. I had a cat.
Well, that makes you somewhat qualified.
Yeah.
I have a cat. They're kind of like kids.
Sometimes. So I started volunteering. And over time, I have realized that seeing kids happy, making a difference in their life,
Okay.
really fulfills me. And then I got involved with the Make-A-Wish organization
Mm-hmm.
as a wish granter. Seeing a child smile for just a brief period to take their thoughts away from their next treatment,
Mm-hmm.
to give just a break for the family.
Now, you're using the word fulfillment. What is the difference between their fleeting moment of happiness not just being a fleeting moment of happiness for you? Because it sounds like it's way more than that for you. It's small for them in that moment, but it seems like it's huge for you over the long haul.
Mm.
It is. When you see a child smile when maybe the family has lost hope, maybe it is a terminal illness, and all of a sudden you wake up and realize that you're here making their wish come true.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most amazing experience. You love on these children, and for just a brief period, life stops.
Mm-hmm.
A wish granter that goes out with me quite a bit. We have our set routine is that she does all of the paperwork and I lay on the floor and play with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, I would have said, no, I'm doing the paperwork because this is what I know. And this is what I'm trained to do, and this falls right in line with my career goals.
And you said some really powerful words that I want to make sure that we get quoted here. You said life stops. And I think as a society, we attach happiness to whenever we're in a moment when life stops, but you're attaching it to both.
Absolutely. And Alex and Ani had a bracelet that came out with an ice cream cone on it. I encourage everybody to look up the ice cream cone on Alex and Ani, because it goes towards Give Kids the World Village. And I had never thought about it before like this. But you have to enjoy that ice cream cone before it disappears.
Oh, we're on to something now. So the ice cream cone, what does that represent for you then?
That you have to savor the moment.
Mm.
Slow down, because you can be very career driven, and that's great, because there's ladders that we can climb and differences that we can make every day in our careers. But we have to take the time to slow down and enjoy it. And that's what I've seen, is that so many people, including myself, forget to enjoy the ice cream cone.
And Sarah, don't you think there's a little, that is a huge point, and don't you think there's a little human nature in that whole equation? Because that crosses along all ages. You know, you're speaking of ice cream. I mean, we were in Myrtle Beach on vacation back in August, and we were eating ice cream at the resort we were at. And as my kids are eating the ice cream cone, they're talking about, well, can we go on the water slide? Can we go on the beach? And they're just trying to get to the next thing. And I looked at them, I was like, why don't you take them and enjoy your ice cream?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've really got to be conscious about this.
And we live in a society that is so fast-paced that we can get caught up in it.
And accessible. Yeah. There's so many things that we're accessing to be excessive, because we have so many things we can do that make us happy.
Yeah. And we're always thinking about the next thing. We're always living in the future.
Yeah.
And we're not guaranteed the future.
Mm-mm.
No, ma'am.
And if you forget to enjoy today and to take a few minutes to interact with people that build you up, no matter what situation you're in, there's always a silver lining.
Sarah, do you know what your why is?
I really don't.
Yeah. It's funny because I think I'm just sitting here listening to it. You're living your why, and I'm not sure that you realize it. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing is contributing to many other lives, but it seems like it's so natural for you that you're just living your why. I'm just, I implore you to seek out that why, because the most powerful thing about taking a why and putting it on paper is you start to see the other things you could do to live the why. There's a lot of things out there about when you know your why, there's so many whats and hows that you can do to live the why. And it sounds like you kind of stumbled into your why. You were asked to volunteer at church, and then you end up at the Make-A-Wish, and you're like, holy smokes, this is amazing. You didn't really establish this why earlier in your life and then just keep trying to find things to do. Sarah, just imagine what your life would look like if you pursued more than what you're doing. And I'm not saying like beyond Make-A-Wish. Maybe it's just more within Make-A-Wish.
You know, it's ironic. I had a staff meeting this week, and that was something I told them, is that I want everybody to pursue their passion, to drive to it.
But Sarah, most people don't know what their passion is.
But you know, there's an old story that you have to take the first step. You've got to get out of your comfort zone. And the Dale Carnegie class teaches you that.
Good plug. Thank you.
It's true. I took it in 2003, and it changed my life. So you have to take that first baby step.
Yeah, and the wonderful point, most people sit back and wait for things to happen for them. And then it never happens. In fact, most people sit around when they wait for things to happen for them, they take it as things happening to them. And it's like they want someone to wake them up to what their passion and their why is. And Sarah, that happened to you in a way, right? You were
Absolutely.
asked to I will also stipulate this and say that they asked you for a reason. You put enough out there for people to see something in you that you didn't see in yourself. So you were probably surrounded by some people that were great mentors and coaches to you at the same time. That's the other side of the equation.
That absolutely. And, we all go through things in life that make us who we are.
Mm-hmm. Everything.
And when life gives you lemons, you have to make lemonade. You have the choice to make lemonade. I went through some things that I didn't expect. I had never planned because I was smart at 23. I had planned my life.
You knew it all.
I knew it all.
You knew
absolutely.
it all. Yep.
And then one day my life turned on its head,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a decision to make. I could either forgive and move on and make lemonade, or I could become a bitter individual.
Ooh, I like how you tied in that bitter to the lemonade. That was good. I think I found this quote in prepping for the show, and I think you just nailed it. It said, "Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment and make it perfect."
Yeah,
and that's what you've done.
I try. It's a everyday struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when it becomes a habit of, we can't get down in the dump.
Yeah. Sarah, what? Thanks for joining the show. What parting advice do you have for our listeners if people are wondering what happiness is, what fulfillment is? What advice do you have for us?
To sit down and look at the things in your life that are great
mm-hmm.
and to enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
If you're sitting at the table with your children and they're talking about their day in school, savor that moment. I go back to the savor statement.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take time.
Savor the ice cream cone.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
Savor it. Thanks so much for joining us, Sarah.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
You too. So savory. I'm getting savory, man.
And I think to a lot of Sarah's point, something that has become really apparent to me in the last week because of something we went through, our family went through this week. We often take things that make us happy for granted. Sometimes we don't even realize what makes us happy. So I think, as you know, JJ, on Sunday, we had to put our 14-year-old Labrador down. And it was it's been a tough week with that. She was 14, so had her for over a third of my life.
Yep.
And I never realized until she's been gone the last few days that every time I came in the door and she greeted me, it made me happy. Every time she walked over to me when I was sitting on the couch and put her head in my lap, it made me happy. And I never thought about it consciously that way.
And over a 14-year period, it also fulfilled you, though.
Absolutely. But now that she's gone, I'm missing
fulfillment.
Those bits of and those bits of happiness.
Mm-hmm. Yes, seeking happiness isn't wrong. It's just limiting.
Yeah.
It's if we don't nourish something inside of us, fulfillment creates a constant state of happiness. And we're gonna really wrap up the show today talking about how do we focus more on fulfillment. To be a part of the show, you can call us at 804-454-1366, 804-454-1366. You're listening to The Great People Show. Hi, I'm JJ White, host of The Great People Show. As a parent, I'm now busier than ever and don't have a lot of time for teaching my child fundamentals or helping them build good foundations. That's why I love products by A Ginger Kid. They allow me to spend time teaching critical skills to my children while we all have fun. The quality wood used in A Ginger Kid products can't be beat, and the wooden texture brings a nostalgia that allows both my child and I to enjoy our moments together. A Ginger Kid products are about equipping parents to help their children learn with confidence. A Ginger Kid also helps me pause to take moments to create intentional memories with my children. These classic toys teach classic moments. Go to agingerkid.com and enter the promo code GIFTS to receive 25% off your order as one of our listeners. A Ginger Kid, the tools and toys that teach.
Before the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People was the Dale Carnegie course. Now, after 104 years, over 8 million people experience Dale Carnegie courses. People like Warren Buffett and Ronald Reagan. The Dale Carnegie experience uses proven techniques to permanently unlock the potential of top talent, making individuals into inspiring leaders and groups into high-performing teams, while reducing the financial and emotional costs of employee turnover. For more information, visit DaleCarnegieRichmond.com. That's DaleCarnegieRichmond.com.